minimum 30 minutes, but this might be an hour.
Give me an hour, please. We're going.
We're already live. What's up, people?
How's it going, everybody?
We're back.
Episode
10?
Is
this the big double digit?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Finally made it to 10 episodes.
It's gonna be interesting.
Oh man. It's hard to try to schedule people because we're all freaking busy. And it's like, can you sit down with me for an hour? What the hell? Are you a weirdo or something?
Do you want to sit down and talk? What am I gonna do? Is this an intervention?
Yeah. Did I do something wrong?
You know, it's funny because I've been reading a lot more about podcasts and like how popular they're becoming. Like the same way you're starting up your podcast, like other people are just starting it. Just like, hey, just getting content out there. That's all it's about.
It's giving people a chance to not get misconstrued,
Yeah, get heard. Get a name out there.
Everybody sees, everybody has that fake Facebook or fake social media because they're posting positive stuff. So, of course, everybody's going to get that negative Mr. thinks he's all perfect and shit.
Right, Mr. Perfect Profile?
Yeah, Mr. Perfect Profile. Of course, they're going to post
sick
positive stuff. I don't want to post negative stuff because sharing all that negative stuff is kind of bad. I like sharing that Red Tide stuff, what's happening with,
That's good.
It's negative, but it's still local to promote local stuff, what's going on locally.
I don't know if Facebook did that update for you on Android, but on iPhone, probably the best update they've done. Honestly, for like a guy like me, I actually didn't realize.
The iPhone.
Well,
sorry, I'm
burn
hater.
right in the beginning of the show. Burn. I mean,
iPhone hater here.
If anything, it did come out first on the iPhone just because they trusted us enough.
Did Facebook come out first on there?
No.
What do you mean?
I'm talking about this update. They trust us iPhone users to
the Facebook
give the best feedback. And then we'll slam it to you Android guys. No, they added back. So, like 2 weeks ago, I used to have just the Facebook groups because honestly, I think the reason Facebook still exists nowadays is because of the groups, groups and the buy and sell. I think a lot of people are leaving Facebook because of the content that it produces, and they're sick and tired of hearing their family sob story.
Unlimited, huge paragraph sob stories, or huge paragraph where it's run-on sentences.
Exactly.
No format.
Nope.
Everybody forgets about how to write an essay in high school, and they just like run-on sentences, no period, no. Where are we going with this? Is this
I can't take it, man. It's crazy. Like honestly, the groups are the best. Like I'm in like 5 or 6 groups, and I was mad because originally I was going to delete Facebook and just download their groups app, which I loved. It doesn't exist no more. But they did an update now, and there's on the bottom right next to Marketplace, there's a groups tab. Oh, it's so good.
Is that like a groups like friends or like?
Well, no, it's like basically whatever groups you're in.
Like a Tundra group, like...
Yeah, right? Like if I'm in a Tundra group, buy and sell group, stock trading groups. Like it's basically a custom feed for your groups.
Okay, so you don't have to scroll through your spot. Well, how do they get ads in there? They squeeze ads in there somehow.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can. It's just content. I mean, before, the hard part was like every time I go on Facebook, I usually go straight to my groups. So I'd have to click the menu, go find the group, go in there, scroll a little bit, then get out, go to the next group. Like now it's literally just one tab. And it has right at the top, you can enter your groups quickly, or you can scroll just like you would the news feed, and it tells you where the content's coming from. Like, I fucking love it.
That's good. It's good shit.
Yeah. So that's been a pretty good update.
Because Facebook is, it's a teeter-totter, man. You don't know. You get sucked into the vortex or try to stick
the videos.
Yeah, the videos.
The videos are even worse.
That's crazy. A hawk just jacked a rabbit out of the middle of a field. Wait, this huge guy's going down a slide. He goes flying. Oh wait, there's a car crash. Oh wait, there's this. It's like there's all these different things. It sucks you in.
I can't, dude. I can't take it.
I set mine for 3. Like mine has a setting on it, so it's 3 videos drop down now, and it limits the the.
I need it all, man. I need whatever I can get
to limit you.
Just to it's not even that I'm addicted to it. It's just that, like you said, you can get that one day out of the week where you do enter Facebook, and it's like, holy shit, 3 hours have passed or 2 hours have passed. And it's like, and the sad part is there's that active feature on Facebook. So every time, like you're on, you can't help to see like, oh, well, how's this guy on? Or he's been on for, 50 minutes. Yeah. Oh, you know what I mean?
Does it really show that period of time that you're on?
Show everything. If you got to go to Messenger and it shows you when the last person that time was active, how long they're active for. Like
I'm on, off. Like, I'll have a 2-hour period where I'm.
Yeah, but you use a lot of the buy and sell groups, so like you make money. You know what I mean? So you really can't. You could honestly, you could just scroll through your feed and tell who lives on Facebook. With, like you say, the paragraph posters, like the, Jesus Christ, my boyfriend, I'm mad at him, and I'm gonna put him on child support.
Drama.
Yeah, it's crazy, bro. Like, shit, man.
The market's going crazy right now,
bro. You have no idea. You have no idea. Like, I'm hoping once again, like, there's something positive is gonna come out of these podcasts, because whether it be 2 months from now, 2 days, 2 years, like, I want to look back at this content that you and I have been talking about and just be like, holy shit, dude, we were in some direction. Like, I could already correct myself in my cryptocurrency predictions from like episode 1 and 2, because cryptocurrency has taken a shit. A lot of people are selling off. You know what? Everything's selling off right now, and nobody knows where to go. Like, it's the craziest thing. Obviously, I've never experienced this because I am officially, like 4 months into doing this full time.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just, bro, I promise you, I could leave tomorrow and I've learned so much in 4 months that it's like, it's almost like not an addiction. It is an addiction. I'm not even, it's like an addiction of just not, like, just wanting to know, like, how our economy, how everything operates. Why do people spend so much time listening to this, that, and form my own opinion for my own family and be able to help people out. And I'm telling you, like, I just kind of
forced though, because they're like, this is your survival mechanism now. You have to kick it into gear serious.
Well, yeah, I mean,
with discipline, and
there's just a million different. Like, when I tell you, like, when I came into this, and I just thought, like, oh well, day traders, there's only one thing you can day trade, and you can only sell, a stock here and there, bro. The income potential is limitless. There's just so many different routes, and this is where you go about. Like, I'm a firm believer, and everybody talks about it, is everybody can have their different hand in the market. Like, you could enter the stock world and be like, you know what, Aaron, I can't day trade this, but I'm a options trader, or I'm a contract trader, or note trader. Like, you could just have your niche that you become really good at, and everybody's different. And I think I'm finally somewhat finding my tune and my niche.
Right.
But I'm playing out strategies now to see how it works.
Is it fluid, though? Is it changing?
I mean, it's changing. I've talked about it before. It has to do with trading options. I mean, I'm still day trading, but day trading is going to take longer to get to where I want to get. When you first enter, you assume it's just kind of like, oh, I'm going to get there and boom, boom, boom. It's just going to be great, great, great. Like, there's a lot of learning curves between the software, the knowledge, the setup. So I'm kind of taking a step back, and I'm like building that smaller, and then at the same time continue to trade options and trade equities, currencies. What else is out there? Like, I'm trying to get fluid in different parts of the trading fields.
Right.
Everything, anything that has to do with trading,
or crypto too.
Crypto too. I've actually, believe it or not, I took, beside the positions that I hold long in cryptocurrency, like the ones that I've talked about before in previous podcasts, I've actually gone back to somewhat day trading cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Because I do believe, even as far as, like, Bitcoin has dropped so much since you and I first started talking about it, it's down over 50%.
Ethereum is up?
Everything's down. No, everything. The whole. You got to remember, Bitcoin.
Did it go up recently? Because what's his name had a podcast about it. Joe Rogan had a podcast about crypto.
Well, he's probably seen the ups and downs.
Or listen to that one?
No, I haven't seen it.
It's recent. I don't know who. It's a doctor though. It's weird. And he talked. It was a weird discussion about cryptocurrency. And hold on, we got a little mild interference. But anyway, it was like talking about cryptocurrency and AI. Like, is there a correlation? Do you know of a correlation between cryptocurrency and AI?
They're talking about the blockchain. So
what? Blockchain's AI? What does it got to do with AI?
Man, it's like, I'm like, how do we explain it? This is where the confusion is, because, like, when you talk to people about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, a lot of people assume that, just with Bitcoin alone comes the actual option to actually replace, like the US dollar, or replace currency in whole. And then you also have the technology behind Bitcoin. Just the technology, which is they consider the blockchain, is supposed to improve AI, payment systems, video games. They're talking about integrating blockchain in video games on how to verify payments. Like, there's a lot more to this shit that your average consumer, even me, like, I'm still learning all of it. I don't know a lot of it. I'm still learning. But this is like where everybody's like, oh, well, Bitcoin, just because Bitcoin's going to zero, Bitcoin's going down. Like, they don't realize, like, that technology's not going anywhere.
I think it's going to do more than just be a new currency. I think it's going to be like a behavioral change for labor force and like equality across the economy. Everything. Like, it's going to be like this section is spending the money this way, and it's going to notice behaviors and
transparency.
Yeah. We'll be right back. Slide the ball. Slide.
Shit, I've learned.
And we're back.
Oh, we were talking. Okay, so
child interruption.
Hey,
oh my God, we got a black cat in here.
You scared me. I thought you were gonna say something else. Ooh, you scared me.
There's a cat.
He just cleaned himself.
Anyway,
yeah, like people talking about Bitcoin. Like everybody, the thing is, everybody just takes Bitcoin by the price, and yes, like it's gone
like
down.
It's US dollar for cryptocurrency, bing, percentage, and it's more than that.
And I
didn't even know that until just recently.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They think, oh, Bitcoin's going down 50%, it's going to zero, or it's going to crash and burn. Like they don't realize, like Bitcoin could potentially crash and burn. Doesn't mean that these other companies are going to do the same and go down with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But once again, man, it all comes down to the charts. Like I didn't even know this. Like the way Bitcoin went from worth $20,000 down to it hit a new yearly low of like 3,300. It's getting to the point where it's almost affordable. Mommy said you had to give me.
Okay, we're back.
Yes. Oh, just like that.
Jesus.
Quick little kid interruption. Nothing wrong with that. They gotta love. We'll get them on the podcast.
It's past their bedtime. They should be in bed.
But yeah, man, like I was saying, like for everybody that's following Bitcoin out there, just be patient. Like once again, like I did the same mistake, and like I could be wrong. This is my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
But the charts will tell you that Bitcoin itself has retracted, just like the same way a stock market does. Like it gets to an all-time high. Everybody thinks it's going to go higher. Like gravity, whatever goes up must come down. And it'll retrace itself. And this is the 5th time that it's retraced itself more than 85%. If you look at it's done it in previous years, 2013,
right.
I think 16, I think 7, and 9.
When they made their money?
Well, it's that like, so Bitcoin will shoot up to a high price and then everybody just assumes, oh, it's going to keep going higher. And then you enter what they call like the bear market, basically, where the price pulls back.
Yeah.
But they don't realize it's sometimes worse than an actual stock market correction where, you know, if you had, let's just say round numbers, you know, let's say Bitcoin was worth $10, it retraces back to $2 or $1. So it just causes a lot of people to scared or people that held on, like they just don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Now, I mean, but then do the math. Imagine the people that held Bitcoin and that are still holding Bitcoin from day one. It's had 5 major pullbacks where people are jumping ship and people losing money. Yeah. There's people that there's people that fucking took second mortgages, people that sold their houses.
There's homeless people on Skid Row, like those homeless people.
I'm saying, like, and this was back when it was 19,000. Imagine we had the craziest stat I heard this past week is there was more people willing to jump in on Bitcoin when it was worth $19,000 for one coin as opposed to now when it's on a discount for $3,000 or $4,000. Just fucking crazy, bro. Yeah, there was
just because they think it's going to keep climbing.
Exactly,
yeah,
the FOMO.
It's going to keep climbing. It's got it's got a steady support.
And look, the people that bought.
But it doesn't.
In the, let's just say 5 years ago, they're still up like even with Bitcoin being at $3,000 or $4,000, they're still up $4,000-$5,000, or excuse me, 3,000-4,000% from their original investment. Like they're still up ungodly.
Still in the shade, yeah.
And it's no different than like, let's say you and I bought today at $3,000. What if the shit does go up to, $100,000, but it takes 20 to 30 years? It's no different than playing the stock market. Like if you bought Amazon stock 20 years ago and then you're rich today off of it. Yeah. So I don't know. Like you said, it's opened up new eyes and it's brought in like the younger investor and crazy, man. Crazy. I
didn't know about the AI stats until just recently. And AI is scary, man. AI is scary because it's not really connected to a solid state like a robot like people think it is. It's more just like a hard drive with a speaker and a
once it starts
microphone.
Thinking for itself, that's when shit's gonna get
right.
scary. And it already is.
It's so easy to apply the motor skills to an AI, right? Like a robot. If you give a robot an area to walk around, and it walks around and does motor function skills, the thing is the actual, the personality part, like the replying to you with certain thing,
That's gonna be the scary part. I mean, they're already doing it.
That's the scary part where it just there was one thing where they had 2 AIs and they communicated with each other,
I think I saw it on YouTube.
And then they started they changed, like, say, hey, this computer's talking to this computer, and they realized there's somebody listening to them, so they changed they changed the language.
Mm-hmm.
Like, let's start talking in our own made-up language.
They probably start talking like in Python coding.
Off button.
Yeah,
they turn it off like right away. That's the whole story. I don't think it's totally true to that magnitude, but I think it's kind of true. Like, oh shit, they're talking to. Let's turn it off, because it could have been like they could have been.
We don't know what they're. Yeah,
right. You don't know what they're doing, or it was just like a glitch. It could have been going down just like
Jarvis from Iron Man shutting down the house. You know what? Speaking of that, I saw another interesting video, and I mean, it'd be nice if people could comment or just hear other people's perspective, because I'm not gonna lie.
Nobody's fucking talking to us yet.
Well, you know
We're
what?
putting these out into the abyss. We're casting this out into the
maybe
fucking
this will
universe,
get somebody on, and
darkness.
like, I'm curious to hear your side of this, because
Shame on
I
you
didn't
for
even
listening.
think about this until I heard and I saw the video. So obviously, I've been doing a lot of research about different markets, money, what's happening with money, the future of money, and all this. And this concept came up, and it was a TED Talk that I was watching, and they were talking about the game of Monopoly.
Yeah.
And this one father, he basically put all three of his kids to play against each other, and he would just sit there and watch and listen to the conversations that his kids, I should say, would have about just playing the game of Monopoly. And like, how is it that you have three different individuals, they're playing with fake money, so there's nothing tangible to it, but they all have three different outcomes and three different ways to build and win the game.
Ego and personality.
And different strategies too. Where one kid, he was talking about how one kid strictly wanted to buy the railroads and the bigger properties. The other one, his daughter, would just always look to play the chance and community chess cards. So she was playing the game of luck.
Yep.
And then the other one was just wanted to, whatever he lands on, buys. So I'm trying to think, what made me this conversation interesting is they were talking about teaching our kids, like, how to respect money, and like how are the new generation that's coming in, and you kind of think about it, like, I guess you could say millennials, but this maybe goes a little past millennials. I don't know what they're going to call the next generation after us, but I kind of see it now where and I even made a comment of this. I'm trying to figure out the best way to put this, where like you and I grew up, where if we did something or we did a chore, we wanted to buy something, like, we had to physically be given, a cash allowance, or, physically hold money in our hand to realize the value of it. Yeah. Where in today's society, these kids, they don't see that. So they don't understand the importance of, I'm holding it and it's here in my hand, and then it's gone, and now I'm sad. Where they see everything as just being transferred or here's my phone, and if I have a phone, I have money.
Yeah, calculator. Balance, just numbers,
in air. And they were talking
number for number, not like physical, tangible thing. Yeah.
Well, and they were talking about, they used an example of like Disney, for instance, when Disney started making that where you can just pay with the bracelet.
Yeah.
So what are we putting in our kids' minds, that they just need a bracelet and they can get anything they want at Disney, just tap, 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 and it's no different than our phone. We want something, tap, 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 wireless. And I thought about it, I'm like, wow, I never thought about that. That just, and I probably see it in my daughter's eyes. Like, they just probably assume that money's endless,
Right.
And it just, our parents got money. They have a phone and just tap, 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 They don't ever see the physical money and realize, what it is to give somebody that dollar,
right,
and realize they don't have it. So then that's when the guy replayed that same Monopoly game, and he literally put real money into the game. I guess Monopoly consists of $10,000. So he went to the bank, took $10,000 cash out.
Homie's balling.
Yeah, well, and he said he made, to be fair to his kids, he said the winner of the game would take 20, and he put the money back in the bank before his wife. He said he didn't want his wife to yell at him, and his wife was just looking like what the hell's going on? But then he noticed that the whole game changed once there was real money at play. And it was the weirdest experience. I'm just like, wow. Like, I would have never, like, it's true.
Yeah.
When you think about that.
Go to the bank and be like, hey, can I borrow that? Doing a social experiment.
We did, and it's funny because I made a comment.
That is like a social experiment, though.
It is. Yeah. That's exactly what it is.
But they still know the tangible, like the physical money part. If they're acting different,
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they still hold that value of the physical money part. It's not like...
It's like the fear of losing. And I guess when it's digital, they don't know how much they're losing. They just...
Did it scratch you?
Fucking cat just jumped on
I know.
So
I was kind of worried about it being in here for.
Bad cat. Scared the hell out of me. But then they're talking about how, I guess, as parents, we should try, whether it be $5, $1, whatever amount you can afford as parents. But like
to show them saving and how it works.
Yeah, like physically give them cash so they can start understanding at age like 5 and higher.
And take them to the store and let them spend it. Let them get the change back. Put the change back away. See how much money you have left. You know,
it's interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting. You gotta. My kids know, and they. The only really place that we spend the cash is probably be like the flea market or the dollar stores or grocery stores, Walmart. You know, that's really Walmart. They take their little, fucking Walmart, taking over the globe. The register cash register lady at Walmart takes the cash like,
the hell's this?
What do I do with this?
How do I count this? Are you gonna give me a credit card, a debit card?
Man, it's so crazy how the world's changing so fast, man. Technology's fucking man, it's so fast.
Makes you wonder. Like I don't know why. Like
these phones, man.
Yes,
it's changed. It's changed. It's hard to do this anymore. It's like you want to sit down and hang out and talk without looking at your phone or without You
can't do anything nowadays without. We're so attached.
Leave your house without your phone. Have like a heart attack. Got to turn around if you're like 2 miles away.
And that's the part that scares me the most. And even like companies like Apple, like going back to the stocks, Apple market took a shit. Like, how do you have so many people in the world that depend and use these phones?
Yeah.
So you would think in your eyes that there's just going to be like what comes after phones? Like, or is this us forever? You know what I mean? Like, are we just always going to be attached to a block device that we take with us?
Tile piece. Yeah, that's why I called it a tile, because it's only going to get slimmer and smaller. I don't think it's going to be I don't know what's going to be wearable.
I mean, I think eventually at some point it is, but I mean, who knows? That could be beyond you and my time.
It's gonna be a watch. It's gonna be
a beam. Like who knows?
What do they call it?
Contact lens.
Contact lens.
Like, I guess there's nothing that the imagination can't produce. That's what I've learned. So
yeah, because think of the size. Like, what do they say? I've heard this saying before, where like this is more technology than what got sent to the moon. What got sent to the moon is as big as this room.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. It's like...
And here we are. In such a short time.
Yeah.
You're talking the first iPhone came out.
Such a short time compared to... And then go back from that to where we're hunting with sticks and living in tents and caves. Time, man. It's like moving so fast. It's nuts, man. It's crazy.
It's the one thing we don't have enough of, man. That's for sure.
Oh, it flies.
You want to be a millionaire, figure out how to freeze time.
Yeah.
And still be productive.
Or, I don't know, man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's why, like, I'm telling you, I don't know what's gotten into me, like, the last 3 weeks. And I don't know. You know what? You know who I would love to bring on this podcast?
Shout them out.
Somebody.
Oh, somebody.
And even if it's somebody that we don't. No, I'm gonna explain the type of person. I don't know this person. It could be It could be either somebody that lost big in the 2008 crash, or somebody that just experienced it. Like I want to talk to somebody that was knowledgeable during, like, that was kind of knew what was going on but didn't know. You know what I mean?
Mike?
Yes and no. I think he was at a different point, and his view is going to be really one-sided. Like, I just want. And
to get him to behave normally too.
Well, that's the thing.
I'm not trying to be like I'm more mature than him or anything, but like you never know what someone like that can say. Like, I have a couple friends that I don't even ask to be on here, because that
you just never know.
I never know what the hell kind of thing they're gonna say. Might be some weird. I'm not saying I'm friends with racists or anything, but they might say something racist just to be funny on my channel, on my channel thing, because I'm trying to create a channel or a station or whatever you call this thing.
A podcast?
Yeah. But what I know it's a podcast, but it's more than that. So much more than that, though. Anyway,
a platform.
But
that's what you call it.
But someone can, my platform.
Yeah.
And someone's going to stand on this platform and just make a mockery of it, you know?
No.
I don't know. I'll ask him before that. Be like, hey, are you going to be...
Well, I think I've asked them kind of questions.
Behave yourself, or are you gonna be? We're talking, like, trying to talk and convey idea, or share ideas.
Right, for the good.
Yeah, for the good, and not be stupid. But he wasn't a part of what you're trying to get. Who do you think around town is, or like that we can get in here?
That's just it. I don't know. I've asked a couple people, even family members that we have around here, just to kind of
pick
their brains.
Business owners around
like
town.
a business, yeah, somebody who's been in business.
If someone in this town was in business prior to that and still is,
yes,
I'd love to talk to them. You know,
yes,
like but then they won't share. They won't share everything because they're probably their secret. Because who is gonna survive that kind of situation and say, okay, yeah, the market, everything tanked, everything went to shit, real estate went to shit. I got a private investor, and who's going to expose that?
I don't even. Think
I got a private investor, or I took a big loan out and I'm still paying it. They don't want to expose the actuals and the facts.
I don't even think that's what I'm asking for. I'm just more asking, like, I want to know.
I
want to know the mindset that everybody was in around that time, because like I think back to when I was in 2008,
tactics on how to survive it.
Yeah, like I'm like, I don't remember feeling like even though we were in a recession, I don't remember feeling like it, because I was going to college, I had a car, I had a job, so I'm like, granted,
it wasn't like food stamps and gas shortages.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what you're thinking of, a recession or depression or something like that.
Right, and I mean. I'm just curious, because I'm like, we don't know what the next recession is going to be, and it can't be predicted. I mean, there's a lot of predictions out there, but I'm like, man, I just want to know, you know what I mean? Like, I've never been so curious about a subject in my life, and I'm like, I'm watching videos, I'm reading documents, and I don't know, I'm just curious, because I'm like, fuck, like, just the what if, you know what I mean?
You went from job to job during it. But you didn't get to really see the business owner. I worked for a lot of companies. I worked for were actually like business owners. Like you went from franchise to franchise, or place to place.
I went from USave to Sprint. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's about it. Like, I don't know who would
have
ever
thought. A bunch of small things in between, but those are all like franchises and corporate and this and that and the other. I've worked for people. I'd like to talk to my old bosses now that you're talking about. I'd like to talk to them, because back when I worked for them. That's why I quit those jobs, or went from job to job, because they're pinching pennies. They either demoted me or didn't give me a raise, and when a place wouldn't give me a raise and I'm overperforming everybody else there, there's a reason why I'm not asking for a raise, but I'm I'm trying to get that.
And that's the kind of that's the mindset that I'm trying to I want to break into. Like, I want to know, like,
the survival
how they
mentality.
What did they do to survive the business that went under? I mean, they were talking something like, 219,000 plus jobs were lost. Like, this is month over month over month, and I'm seeing these stats and I'm hearing and I'm thinking, like, the shit that scares me now is because there's so much uncertainty. Like, and this is my thinking. This is why I'm so infatuated with this whole subject. Is prior to our current president now, Donald Trump, the Dow Jones, which for people that really don't know what it is or that are listening and following, like, basically they consider it like the health meter of the economy. It's all these massive companies, the way they're operating into one big number, and that number fluctuates. It goes up and down, just like any other market would. But when you start having these massive drops,
just put that on silent.
Oh, it don't matter. You start having these massive drops, it starts creating uncertainty, and you start realizing, well, why? Like, what's going on? So then you start realizing, prior to Donald Trump, the biggest point loss day we had prior to him was 771 points. So meaning in one day, the Dow dropped 771 points, and that was around the time of the 2008 financial crisis, because that was a lot of uncertainty. So then I started doing more research, and obviously the beginning of 2018, I was only trading stocks just from my phone on the side. I wasn't following anything. I was just, here's Verizon. I like Verizon stock. Let me buy it.
Nike, Under Armour.
Exactly. I didn't look into anything behind it. But then come to realize, in February of this year, we posted multiple 1,000-point day drops. So we beat what happened in 2008.
Wow. And we're still.
Then we recovered. We recovered. Then September comes around. September and October, these past couple months, again, we haven't hit 1,000 again. But 800, 700.
I saw 7 the other day.
Then this past week, twice that it jumps down. It's like, it's so erratical right now that it just makes you wonder, like, something's going to happen. You know what I mean? And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, well, nothing's gonna happen until 2020 when the next president comes. But I'm starting to get a little uncertain. Like,
might be before that.
And it's kind of changing my mind to where I'm trying to tape a. This is why I want to interview these people, because I don't want to make a move that I'm trying to do, whether it be like moving or a house or something else, and then I fall into a trap or something. You know what I mean? So it's like, do I go into shelter mode right now, kind of hoard some cash, keep things tight? You know what I mean? Keep what I'm at.
Yeah.
Or do you just say fuck it and just embrace whatever the economy's going to throw at you? Just go in.
Somebody see what to know what to do.
Yeah, and nobody's gonna know the right answer, but I don't know why I'm just so fascinated with. I'm starting to realize like how much we depend on the other side of the world, and the other side of the world depends on us, and it just blows my mind. Like,
yeah, America is the world leader.
Yeah, and like right now, the shit we're going through with one fucking a person of a cell phone company. I don't know if you heard about that news.
No.
So I'm gonna butcher the name.
Butcher it.
Huawei or whatever.
Huawei.
So I don't know if they're the second largest or the largest cell phone manufacturer in China, but long story short, I guess their second CEO, whatever the hell they're called, CFO, which is the daughter of the CEO, did some kind of something to the United States. I don't know the whole story behind it. I've just seen the big headlines and been kind of following it, and the details are still rolling out as of this past Friday, so excuse me if I'm wrong, but basically she committed some kind of crime that's a crime to the United States. The United States asked Canada to step in to capture her when she was in Canada. So now we captured her, and she's in federal court in Canada.
Espionage or something? Or what's going on? Like spying?
No, it's not spying. It has something to do with Iranian sanctions and stuff. Like, it's some shit that's beyond me. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't really studied into that.
But she's a Huawei Huawei.
But okay, so I mean, you would think like, okay, well, she's just a cell phone company, you know, whatever, blah blah blah. But it's the biggest. But then could it happen at a worse time when we're in trade war talks with China?
Yeah.
So now China's taking it against us, like if we took her hostage because we won't release her. And they're saying, okay, what a coincidence. It happened the same week that we had that G20 meeting where all the world leaders were together. So a lot of people are speculating that they think it's Donald Trump's way of saying, well, bitch, you better agree to you know those tariff talks that we're talking, or I'm not going to release your hostage. Oh, wow. And it's just causing this massive fucking panic, bro.
I bet.
Like, you have no, like, just massive. And I'm like...
Because there's crazy people at the top. Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin.
I don't think people realize...
all these world leaders are kind of fucking crazy.
They really are.
Yeah.
Like, I don't...
There's a funny meme where Putin was like patting the back, shaking the hand of a Saudi Arabian guy.
The dude,
and Trump's in the background like, my best friend.
He's supposed to be my boy. Like,
ridiculous. But
I don't think people realize how serious this trade war is, and I think if we don't get an agreement with China, it's gonna get real ugly.
Those manufacturing jobs that Trump was talking about,
just
it's
everything.
not gonna be fast enough.
I think they're
not gonna be in place fast enough. Like, you're starting to build them, and you know, starting to build the infrastructure for this, you know, manufacturing thing that you know. Yeah, you want to bring manufacturing back.
Yeah.
It's too soon for this trade war thing to be happening, because if the prices are going to go crazy for everything.
Yep.
Not just fuel, but plastics,
and that's the thing.
Everything is kids' toys. It's random hardware.
Your phones.
It's phones. It's food. Because that takes,
and this is the shit. This is the shit that I'm talking about. Like, how is this going to affect the middle class? You know, the wealthy, they're going to find a way to survive. They're going to do the low class. God forbid, I don't know what. Don't wish bad on anybody.
They just change interest rates. Isn't that? They just change rates, or they change percentage, little things.
Well, they'll make the money back. Like, I think ultimately,
and we ultimately suffer.
Well, I think ultimately the tariff. Okay, I guess the real question is, and I should probably ask you this before I give my opinion. Do you believe in the tariffs?
Do I believe what the new tariffs are?
Well, like, let's say the tariffs is something that we ultimately 100% agree on.
I think so, yeah, because I agree with them. Right now, they're kind of drastic because I looked at them. And
we're at 10% right now. We haven't gone up to 25%, 10%.
But that's higher than what it was.
Yeah.
And it's striving people to be local more. You know, like maybe the 1% will change where they're where they're investing their money and where they put their companies, and you know.
And to your respect, I think you're right. Like I think ultimately it's good for America because, like you said, I mean the goal is to get America back to producing manufacturing jobs, to get the American person working again. Is it going to cause some cost to go up? Yeah. I just think it's nasty the way to think that just one wrong conversation could cause us to retaliate or could cause China, or we go to a cold. They're talking about a Cold War, a technology Cold War. So it's like, I mean, what's that going to mean? That I don't get to upgrade my iPhone for the next, 10 years or whatever? But no, I'm just kidding.
Problems, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, oh, wow. Okay.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but...
Aaron's got issues, or we all got issues.
I can't get that new iPhone, It's going to cost me, 25% more. Like, no, I don't know what... Man, it's just crazy. Like,
where's it going to take...
thought just thinking about it.
Yeah, where's it going to take us as an economy?
I just think the part that... And like I said, I hope I'm wrong, but I hope I'm right because it's on the podcast, so I can go back and listen to it. But the part that scares me is when all the stuff that I've been studying about, like 2008, is you start hearing about Fed talks, you start hearing about big companies that you and I grew up with that start going out of business or collapsing out of nowhere, and it's starting to happen. It already has, huh?
Do you know any?
Well, I mean, look at they're talking GE, General fucking Electric is on the verge of fucking collapsing. Like it's
how they seem like
deals.
Such a solid.
It's just bad. It's bad management, financials. Like the shit you and I don't realize is all these P&L sheets that these big companies have, and they're got to report to Wall Street every 3-4 months. I mean, every quarter, and oh man, it's crazy. Like you said, or GM closing down these plants and trying to restructure. So it's like they're kind of playing with America right now because what if GM does, they've already done it. They close down this plant. 14,000 people lose their job. This is the first headline. Then let's just say, 6 months from now, whatever shit they did today doesn't work out. Then they're going to post another headline that, we're forced to close this and this down. Like, to me, this is just all like baby steps leading to something bigger. You know what I mean? And it's just the shit. And then you talk about so I started reading more about the Fed hike. Like I never understood. Like I get it, interest rates go up, but then you have the other argument and I was a thing. I'm like, well, shit. Well, if the interest rate fucking just goes up, like why not just fucking lower it or put it back to zero, whatever. And then I started all right, well, let me take a step back. Maybe that doesn't make sense. So then I started doing research. What happens when the Fed rate is too low? Like what happens to the economy? And it's we got to raise the Fed rate gradually and we got to toy with it gradually because if not, you could collapse the market. The market's collapsed when the Fed rate was at 0 to 1% and it's collapsed when it's at 5 to 6%. So it's how do you balance out the economy evenly?
There's more factors to it than just its own percent,
And they talked about it. They talked about when the Fed rate was at 1%, it's like, okay, well, you'd have guys like, you and I that I can go buy this other house and it's going to be cheap. The interest rate's only 1%. Maybe I'll buy another one. You know what I mean? And you see how that could go the other way. And then you got the other side of it where you raise it too much, and it's like, well, I don't want to buy a house or I don't want to buy this car because the interest rate's too much. So then, what does that ultimately do? It hurts the economy because nobody's buying.
Nobody's buying. They're playing that shelter mode or that.
You see, it's
hibernation. Yeah,
it's crazy, bro.
It's nuts.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mean to make this whole podcast about. I'm just trying to bring up shit that's relevant right now. Like, I mean, it's just sad that we're going through this and it's Christmas.
Are the Feds in talks right now or what?
A lot. Like we were supposed to get a Fed. Well, we're gonna know December 18th. I believe it's 18th or 17th. And this is where you'll notice the next either drop or rally in the market. If the Fed raises the Fed rate in December, you're probably going to see a lot of people start panicking because they're wondering if we're getting too close.
Sell.
Or they're going to postpone it, but it's really only postponing it for a month. That means just in talks till January. And then they're predicted to raise it 3 to 4 times in 2019. So it's coming. It's just they don't know. They don't want to raise it too quick. It's just this weird battle of words.
They can fuck a lot of shit up.
Yeah, it's just it's so It's so frustrating. It's just the only thing that I hope that anybody who's listening to this podcast can realize is just remember what happened to people's 401ks during the last crash. Not to say that this is going to happen this time, or I don't know where people are parking their money or what banks you're trusting right now. but just people need to start realizing this shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
a lot of people I talk to, they're more in conversation with their broker now than ever. Like
you have to be, bro. Yeah. You have to be, because you don't know.
You can't set it and forget it. You got to be talking to your broker constantly. So how many would you be a broker for people or no? Like a 401k broker?
No, hell, I mean, you're talking millions of dollars
on the line.
Yeah, that's
on your name.
On your name, your company. You at that point, you'd become like an asset company. You have to hold assets. Like, don't get me wrong, that'd be an ultimate goal of mine. Like, if I can get to that point in life,
it'd be cool.
It'd be amazing. But I would never do it. I would never. I promise you, after seeing the way, I would never be in charge of. You know what it is to be in charge of $1 trillion
of retirement money.
Of people's retirement money, their assets, and then to basically just one day just be like,
"Hey, everybody, you got to make a call to everybody. This email is going to go out to everybody."
Yeah, sorry guys, we fucked up
at 0. And if you could send me a check for $13, that'd be great.
Yeah, they talked about it and what happened in London. I just found out about this.
What is going on in London?
No. This was years ago.
Okay.
This was years ago.
Did you see the news though on London?
Well, you know what? This is kind of funny because maybe this is all tied together. This is all tied together. Yes. When something like this happened, that one of the big banks collapsed in London.
Yeah.
They didn't realize it, but dude, you're talking lines at fucking ATMs, people pulling out cash because they were scared, and exactly what happened. But by the time the banks caught up that the bank was going to collapse, the bank said, nope, sorry, nobody can withdraw no more money. So you have all these people that you might have had $10,000, you might have had $10, you might have had $10 in there. Just, nope, can't get it out. Sorry, bank, the bank is going under. So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
I just feel like you got to be aware of what's going on because you just never know.
Like it's not there. Like you go to your. I'm sorry, I'm just frozen right now. That'd be scary. That's kind of scary.
It wouldn't. I don't believe that it would necessarily just not be there. Just you wouldn't have access to it. It'd be frozen. They freeze when they freeze the bank, and it's just like, what the fuck you mean I can't get my $10 out? Or I can't do this. Can't that? That's why so many people lost their houses and lost their shit because they didn't have the money. The banks didn't have the money to give them their own money. Now, what I don't know. And I believe this is the very fine print in your bank when they say a bank is FDIC up to $250,000. I believe that was put in place, meaning that no matter what happens, my money's secured up to that. Yeah. Obviously, I don't got $250,000 in the bank.
I do.
Oh shit! Well,
and it's not there now.
Yeah.
And they have the insurance, so I'd like my $250,000, please. Please. If you could just bring it in like a box.
Check.
Yeah.
I'll take a check and I'll.
No, I don't want to. I don't want to check.
I
want like a cardboard box with just 20s and 100s and 50s. Yeah, once. You throw a couple bricks of ones in there. Imagine having. Would it fit in this room? Would it $250,000 in ones? Holy! It would be like a pallet. It would be like a pallet of money.
I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I get my next house, I'm gonna do some gangster shit like that. Like I just want to have like a vault with like a little bit of like just passports.
Do you have any what do they call that? Do you have any gold?
No.
What do they call that? Like a gold nugget.
There's a gold bar. Like
no, there's a freaking better. There's a proper word for it.
What? One of them shits they sell you in an infomercial?
Like a gold bar? No, not the
no. I'm just kidding.
It starts with a B. Bullion. Gold bullion. Yeah.
Bucket.
Anyway. No, it's like gold bullion. I think that's what it's called. You have any gold? No.
I'd love to. Actually, you know what? I didn't. I wanted to have gold at one point.
Yeah.
Until, man, this as a matter of fact happened to like, bro. Today I have so much shit on my mind today that it's like I haven't had a chance to decipher. Like I'm gonna go home later, write some notes down.
Yeah.
And it was funny. Obviously, everybody knows Warren Buffett, like one of the greatest fucking investors, and he was talking about gold. And somebody was interviewing him, and they asked him, they're like, hey, if you had a chance to buy, XYZ company or a mountain of gold, and that you can look at and it's pretty and all that. And I'm thinking, to me, I'm saying, oh, go ahead, pause it.
Oh, my goodness. Finish talking about gold before I get on that topic.
Oh.
If I could even remember.
Is it back? Are we back? Are we on?
Yes, we're back recording.
Oh, okay.
About gold. Go.
So he was asked a question like, and your average person, if you were to ask them, hey, you have, let's just keep an even number. You have $1 million. Here, Mr. Burke, I'm going to give you your $1 million, but is it going to be in gold bars or here's $1 million in, ABC liquor? And then your average person be like, fuck no, I want that $1 million in gold.
Yes, so solid. Yes.
Solid gold.
Yes.
And then he's like, all right, so why the fuck would I want to buy something that is just sitting there not doing anything for me? And it's
Warren Buffett said that?
Yeah, Warren Buffett. He basically, well, he didn't say it like that. Obviously, he didn't curse.
Yeah, give me ABC liquor.
Well, he said it so humbly. Where he was just like, and it kind of makes sense. And this is why I guess he's always been such a good investor. Like, he just thinks of shit so simple that you're just like, it's like the old school way of thinking. You're just like, oh wow, like, yeah.
So he would buy the
he
stock.
would buy. He would buy not the stock. Well, it could have been a stock. It could have been a business. But he's just like, why when I can have that working for me? Or he just think like he made an analogy to Coca-Cola. Somebody asked him about a company, and he's just like, "Oh, so what would make you invest in this company?" He's like, "Well, before I even look at the price of the company and make my own evaluation, he's like, I would look at what the company has to offer." And he's like, "Well, I would say Coca-Cola's been around for blah 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 200 years, and they have a good product, and the product sells for your average price of $1.05." He's like, so I think if in the future, if they could just raise that by 1 penny and they sell 18 million bottles of soda a day, that's $18 million a day, which leads to XYZ trillion a year. Like, he just breaks shit down simple that he's just like, okay, yeah, so I would buy this company for, $30 billion, whatever.
Yeah. And he bought Coca-Cola back like 200 years ago.
Because
he's 200 fucking years old.
Yeah, and fucking, and it's just the shit that you think about, like, wow, I would have never thought about this, like, It's like you know what? It makes me think about our generation right now has the chance to invest in cannabis, and it's his legally? Same analogy. Yeah. Like, you just kind of sit there and think about it.
You see the advertisements for it everywhere.
Well, you just got to find the right company, I guess. Right. You could say you're never going to know, and he kind of talks about that. We're just like, all right, so let's say we do get like the one that just got a buyout, CGC. Was it CGC? No, Cronos. Yeah. Let's say they had a product right now and it's a fucking marijuana blunt or whatever.
Yeah. Or a vape pen. Those are
a vape pen, yeah, and it's
popular.
$2. All right, so what's to say they can't eventually raise that price, by a penny, and it's just stupid shit like that. And like, I guess our generation, what I think is gonna be a downfall, and I'm noticing is on our generation, they talk about it. We don't really like to long term invest in shit
or save.
Yeah. We just
immediate gratification.
Like, I need to invest I need to invest in Bitcoin, and that bitch needs to go to the moon in like 3 months. I need to be driving my Lambo.
Yeah.
When, all right, I mean, that could happen if you just wait like 20 years. You know what I mean? Like, that's the part that I'm curious to see.
Years. It's credit cards.
It's that instant gratification. We talked about on the other podcast about remember before you used to have to wait, 8 months to watch a series, where now you can just binge watch it in 8 hours.
Jesus Christ.
How is that fucking with our minds? You know what I'm saying? This is the shit that I never used to think about. But now it's got me wondering, like, man, I'm victim to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we're all victim to it.
I promise you, victim.
Look at this. I got the not super updated phone, but I got a recent phone.
Well, no, and so then the part that scares me is like they're saying, so this is the generation that's going to lead us in the future. When you and I are 50 years old, we're going to be remembering our friends that are the same, that are trying to go in Congress with these same ideas and thoughts.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm pretty good at not falling into the trap of like wanting the latest greatest. I like to indulge, in
I don't even think that's necessarily the thing. It's just the long term. Like everything nowadays is just want now.
Yeah. I'm a capitalist for opportunity, man. If I see opportunity, I just take it. And if it's not, I'm pissed if I can't, if I can't make it happen, something that I want.
I'm the same way.
I'm pissed, but I just sit back and just chill. Because
sometimes I get so pissed, and then I'm just like, why?
Yeah, I start questioning, trying to make it happen.
Like comparing, then you get on social media.
Comparing is the thief of joy. It'll rob you of your joy. You got so much to be thankful for that you have, but because you can't have this, some other people do. They're having fun with it.
Tell you,
it'll rob you of your joy, where you can just sit back.
Fucking sanity. That's why I have to.
You ever have so much joy with like the simplest, smallest thing? You like a picnic bench at a park with your kids, and like $16 worth of food on a picnic, or having a picnic, and just like thinking at that moment, like,
you're alive.
Wow.
Yep.
Why? Wow, and $1,000 for this one thing that you couldn't get. I was like, why am I even worried about that? You know, when you could enjoy so much in the now.
That's
so much in the now, man. Like a conversation too, like.
You know,
they have fun laughing to each other, talking shit to each other, or having a fun conversation with drinks and just like I was gonna say earlier about podcasting. What if we did like a 2-hour podcast? I could see doing a 2-hour podcast if we had a third person in. We're having a couple of drinks and having fun, talking shit, telling jokes, and
just remembering the times.
Just talking about the good times, or try to enjoy the now, instead of just really being up on the latest and greatest, scrolling, being lost in the vortex, or just comparing and just robbing yourself of all the joy that you could have in a conversation.
Let's talk about something. We're gonna get a little future, since we're what's today's date? Today's the
9th.
The 9th. So we're what 3 weeks away from the new year.
Yeah,
let's already start talking about like New Year's resolutions. Like, what do you look to do? Like, what is something you look like big you're looking to do in 2019? If you want to talk about it, you don't have to.
What do I want to do in 2019?
Yeah, like what's one thing, if you could change, what's one thing that you want to do in 2019? Put you on the spot.
Yeah, put you on the spot. I want to get a man's truck. Like you
want to get a truck for yourself?
Yeah, I want to get a truck for myself, like a good truck, like a diesel truck, or like a truck that I can do a lot of my stuff that I want to do, like pull the boat or pull the trailer, do side job.
It's good.
Pull big, I don't know. I want to be able to do like a big job.
You want a truck?
Yeah, well, I want a truck to do a big job, and
that's a good start.
Like pull trees or pull, any kind of like. I just want a big truck.
Start somewhere.
Big truck.
Yeah.
I was just talking about not comparing and shit. No. I see all these big trucks. I want a big truck. But
hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
It's more humble than that though. It's more like I want a truck to do like side work and like, just the capabilities. An opportunity. I see all these opportunities where I could do transport for people. Like I could haul. I got a pretty cool trailer. I got a pretty good. I
thought you got a new one from LC. Shit,
no,
where's
that trailer that it holds a lot of weight, and I could,
Yeah.
I've had different trucks, but they've never been really reliable. I want like a reliable truck.
That's a good goal to have.
What's your New Year's?
I'm gonna put it out there.
I got some financial stuff too. Like I want to, financial
tune up. Every year. Anyway, we could always improve.
Get better on finances and stuff. But
always.
what's your New Year's?
Personally, for me, my personal one is losing weight. I mean, I feel like I've been
shape up that dad bod.
Yeah.
Oh, we're doing a 3-day fast. Are you ready, or you want to do it another day? You're not ready. You're not ready. You want to postpone it? We can postpone it.
I don't feel like I properly prepared, and the only reason being is because I was out this weekend.
Yeah, you were enjoying yourself.
Next Monday.
Next turns into next.
Well, no, and it's not even that. Maybe this is an excuse.
The next would be I think that's good before Christmas. Yeah.
And the only reason I'm going to tell you this is because I finally took a leap, and like I text you, I finally took a leap, and I finally got my fat ass back on a treadmill. And like my body is killing me, and I think if I go into a fast, those muscles aren't going to recover, and it's going to cause some severe
cramping.
damage.
Yeah, and like dizziness and headaches.
Pussy approach, but
no, it's fine.
But I mean, it's just the way I'm feeling, and like I'm hoping that the step that I took this past weekend, because I told myself
I didn't either. I ate some chocolate and stuff and some crappy food and cookies.
I just want to do it right. I want to properly, like you said, I want to load up on those avocados,
load up
meats.
On fats and proteins, and then go into the fast kind of full of, fats and protein.
Yep.
So you're not like doing like an instant insulin dump.
I'm just scared. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm scared that it's something bad is going to happen. I don't know. And we lost a lot of weight just drastically over 3 days last time.
Yeah, it was good though. I liked that last time.
I did. I did.
And it's going to be easy to do a New Year's resolution. It's going to be easier to do that when you have more communication with your intake. Of what you intake, you have to you have to feel it. You got to like feel what you're taking in and know it's fuel. It's not like I watched a lot of videos with bad visuals, like what sugar does to your insides. That's what helps me. Yeah. Watch it. It helps. It really does. Watch what like they do this experiment with sugar and carbs, and they put it in like this artificial stomach and see what it does to people. It's bad, man. It turns into like this black tarish toxic like substance, and it's like they keep on putting this in everything. They're poisoning the public. A lot of people think. I don't think they are poisoning the public intentionally, but they're just it's the economy. Like they see it. They're not going to stop it because they're making money. They're
of course not.
They're making money. They're not going to stop making money. I don't think they're potentially.
No, he said they don't make money.
They're not intentionally poisoning the public like those conspiracy theorists.
No.
They're poisoning us. They're chemtrails. They're putting fluoride in the water and blah 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 blah. Whatever. I don't think it's that to that extent, but I think it's crazy that we're not more publicly in touch or know what we're freaking eating, man. Or you know what we're feeding our kids to, and there's like sugar and carbs is a crazy.
That's the biggest.
Well,
thing.
not carbs, but
carbs.
Yeah,
those kids.
They said the keto diet now. There's some new science on it that it's
not as good.
Not good longevity. I don't do it
probably because I can see where you need like they're saying you cut out carbs in keto, right? Like and carbs. Yeah, I mean, you read all the bodybuilding books.
You kind of need carbs.
You need the body needs carbs. I mean,
but
we just don't need an excessive amount.
Yeah, carbs limited is good, or limiting your carbs is good for you. Yeah, I found that.
I mean, everybody knows you just eat so much carbs and you're just.
Yeah, pizza and pasta and sandwiches, burgers. They get away from you.
I'm gonna use this podcast for my New Year's resolutions: weight and mindset. I need time. Like time gets away from me too, man. Like in what terms?
Like, just to set a schedule type thing. Like schedule.
Like kind of like when you say you're gonna do something, do it kind of thing.
Yeah, say let's do something, do it, and like a daily schedule, like time. Like wake up, whether it's workout or
consistency. Maybe
yeah, just try. Like I want to do that. Like I'm letting people down when people like know I work on stuff on the side. Like, hey Kevin, reaching out to you, can you fix this for me? Like, yeah, and then I get home and I like
totally forget about it.
Yeah. Or I'm like I don't have time for it. I told him I did have time for it. It's like God, man,
I'm in the same boat.
It's like
just trying to find
time management, man.
I think time management and. I hope that comes out.
I hope it comes through.
That's how our time management is. like you said, just find that equilibrium, man. 2019's gonna be the year where it's either gonna make me or break me, man.
You think the next election's gonna really craze the market or make the market go kind of crazy?
Man, I tell you, after the shit I've been through these last 2 weeks, at this point, I'm ready for like any fucking news. Like, I'm trying to come up with a game plan because in my eyes. When a market falls, a lot of people just assume. Well, you can't assume. I mean, it really does happen. A lot of people lose a lot of fucking money when the market falls. But in the position that I'm in, there's a way to profit. And I'm learning those ways now.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to perfect those skills.
You were telling me about short selling.
Yes.
Jeez. You could go in with a company intentionally sabotaging or not, you're just in it to make money for yourself.
And I mean, there's a big risk in doing that too, and having to know the proper steps on how to do it. Like, I mean, what I've learned with trading is, it's true what they say. The market has no mercy, it has no emotions, has nothing. Just it's so easy to do, but if you don't go in there with a calculated plan and stick to your plan, no matter what, it'll eat you a fucking alive, bro.
Yeah.
Eat you alive.
And it's a good thing you have a team though, too. Like a team of
well, I do and I don't.
A team like set the groundwork kinda.
I do and I don't. That team's more of a mentorship to just kinda like know what stocks are moving throughout the day.
But still, it's not ultimately your freedom and your choices that you're clicking it. You're putting that numbers.
I'm the one that's ultimately making
money in and pulling it out.
Exactly. Like I'm trying to get like one. You know what? Maybe I should get Leonard on here. I would like to get him on the podcast too. He's been trying to follow. He's been trying to follow me with option trading.
Yeah.
And it feels kind of good to have somebody else to kind of run some ideas off of. But he's just trying to do it to create like a side hustle on the side while he's working, which is good. He's got a plan.
Does he do like the whole monitor thing like you do, or just Robinhood?
No. Just Robinhood. Option trading is for what's happening in the market right now.
It's the way to go.
It's the way to go.
Start off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a way to go if you want to get big profits quick, but very risky. You just have to go. And this is the biggest hurdle that I have right now is when I come up with a plan, sticking to it.
Yeah.
No matter what, you know, because you always have that human psychology that comes in and be like, oh, it didn't fucking work out.
Distraction.
But it could work out. Squirrel. It's just like, no.
Squirrel.
Like, you just, like, I almost got to remember it, like, when I was in the phone business. Like, I remember, like, you know, you sell so much of XYZ product. It goes out. It makes you money because you get paid commission. But then at the same time, you have to make sure you're putting out the correct product because if it comes back, it hurts you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's no different in the stock market where, like, if you do a play and it's hurting you, why, like, cut your losses. Don't sit there and hope that, like, it's going to come back or, you know what I mean? Or, like, it's no different, like you said, like, put in the like, if I sold you an iPhone today and then you come back, like, the next day and you're just like, oh, man, Aaron, I really don't know if this is working out. And I'm over here like, well, bitch, I just need you to keep it for like 14 more days because, like, I'm going to get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Work, right? Yeah.
And then just hoping that you take the phone and as opposed to doing the right thing and just be like, oh, you know what? It wasn't for you. Boom. Let's take it out. Right. Get you to something different, you know? So the stock market, the psychology behind it is no different.
Yeah.
And it's hard. Like, as easy as when you're in the moment and you see the money and you see the flashing, it's tough. And it'll break you. But I'm not the only one that's gone through that same thing, so I'm not alone in that aspect.
There's a lot of AC companies out there that take advantage of people too. Like, they just don't have that.
Yeah, it's no different than running a business. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man. They just don't.
They don't care.
Or like salesmen in general, they just don't have any mercy, man. They got to make that money for them, and they'll do anything. And I think it. I don't know if it catches up. It doesn't catch up to everybody. I know they say karma's. I don't
know.
It comes back to you, but it does not always. People
not
out
always.
There surviving
there's
on just,
or it comes back to them later on in life,
just stabbing people, like, and getting away with it. Like, you know, it's crazy. Some people, like, here's, I guess, this fake story. This is a made-up story.
Are we doing that like this is our own opinion, own story kind of thing?
Yeah, this is just like a made-up story. This is totally fake. It's never happened, ever. And, but, anyway, there's like an AC that went out. And the small component's bad. Like something that's obviously bad. And you just change that component. It could be like $160. But instead, this person walks up and says, oh, you need $5,000 new unit. You need a new unit.
Oversells them.
Yeah, you need a new unit. Okay, how much is a new unit? $5,000. Blah blah blah. Here's the estimate. Can you get me going for now? No, I can't get you going for now. Doesn't fix it. Like it could. It's like a $40 part. Could have fixed it. Could have got her going, but it went another level and it said, no, I'm not gonna. I can't fix it for you. I can't fix it for you, and she's not going to buy a new one. So he leaves, but before he leaves, he cuts like another wire, like a wire over here,
screws you over.
Right? No, but here screws her over.
Yeah.
But okay, so she's going to call for a second opinion, and the second opinion, another guy comes up. Oh, it's the capacitor. You don't need a new unit, ma'am. And throws that new capacitor in there. I'll get you going right fast. Puts the capacitor in there. It's just going to be $160. You don't need a new unit. Boom. Turns it off. It's not working. It's a really sneaky move that he did over there. And I don't know why I can't. Just the way, like, he sabotaged the unit, and then she'll call him back for that $5,000 unit. He got the sale.
Yeah, they don't get, like you said, it's just savage. It's like that in every industry. Cars.
That's crazy. And then
cell phones.
And a homeboy that put the $160 for this job, and said, it's good to go, and then puts it in, cranks up and leaves, and she's like, oh, you don't know what you're doing. She's the second guy. She blames him for not knowing what he's doing and calls the original guy.
Yep.
And say, hey, can you come? How crazy is that? That's crazy. It's like,
it's the world we live in, man.
Man, I couldn't do that though. I saw that. That's the main reason why I started doing this. Is because
this is going to circle back to your original, what we started the podcast on. Then you wonder why more people are shopping online, because people generally are scared to I don't want to go to that car sale, that car lot. He's going to screw me over.
Go person to person.
I don't want to go upgrade my phone in the store because I'm going to get some shit added to my account that I don't need. You know what I mean? It's sad.
Person to person. That way you can rate the person for the experience of what you got.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom.
That's the part that's changing in our society. It's no different. Like I said, eventually real estate agents, they're going to be put out by AI too. There's already when I was in Michigan, there's already the company Redfin,
like virtual kind of thing.
Virtual. Well, and not only that,
go on about
Redfin is a big competitor in this, where they're basically, I don't know exactly 100% how their model works, but from my understanding, it cuts out the real estate agent. So, like for instance, I gotta be careful because I really can't say this on podcasts. Okay, well, let me just generalize it then. So on average, and I can't even use it like that. You gotta be careful. These are laws and Floridas that I can break. So I'm not even gonna say that. There's commission levels for real estate agents that can be negotiated, as little as 1%, as high as 10%, 20%,
right.
Whatever's set.
Yeah.
Well, this company comes in and undercuts the market.
Put a fake scenario out there just to use a fake scenario.
I can get in trouble.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, I can get in trouble by the law of the state of Florida if somebody reports me. So, anyways, this company comes out and just says, we'll do it cheaper.
Yeah.
And we'll cut out the real estate agent, and you can just go on our fancy app or website. We'll give you access to the house.
I bet you there's like an algorithm that they have.
Yeah, of course there's.
The existing broker or the existing agent.
Yeah.
And sees what their rates were before and be like, okay, we know what it is.
They know what to look for. They got the data. Remember I told you about in the last previous conference, the data. Data is the most expensive thing. That's what everybody's data mining for. They know what you and what we're looking for. If I was in the market right now for a house, they know what type I want.
Do you ever think that
the searches?
Yeah, but do you ever think like they don't have a grasp on what you really want? I think like I scroll through the
I don't think it's gonna matter. That's my opinion. I don't think it's going to matter at the end of the day, because what's going to happen is you're going to get these companies that are going to come in and say, well, why should you go with XYZ real estate agent as a home, owner to sell your property and pay XYZ when I can do it for cheaper?
Right.
And then we'll put it on our fancy app and website, and it's going to be out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Not that this is something that's going to happen overnight, but it's starting to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's going to start cutting out your Joes in the real estate agent. It already is. And Zillow's doing the same thing. It's no different than any industry. It's no different than Amazon coming in and disrupting, the way we buy toys and stuff like that. It's just that's where technology's going. So you're either going to be the guy selling the technology or embrace it. You know what I mean? Some shit. Like if you want to serve I've heard this from a lot of guys that I follow. Like you want to get on the trend, start learning how to sell robots. Yeah, because that's.
I'll be on those. I'll be the one fixing them.
Exactly. Start learning a trade or start learning how to sell robots, because that's what's going to be selling in the future. You're going to be going to companies. Oh yeah, you don't need 10 people sitting around your car lot. Here, let me just sell you this program right here, and this robot's going to automate your whole business. And you're just going to be spitting cars out left and right. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. Yeah.
When you think about it, like it's what we're doing. It's already happening, but it's just going to keep happening at a faster rate.
And scattered all over like crazy.
I think what's going to happen is we're going to have, I think the next, maybe it's not this recession, maybe it's 10 years from now, 5 years from now, who knows, but it's going to be something that's going to evolve, tech replacing normal jobs, and when they go to rebuild the economy, they're going to rebuild it around technology, meaning the people fixing robots, selling robots, that kind of shit.
Do you think it's going to displace working people though? Like you think like?
I think we're going to eventually get to a society like what was on the Joe. I think it was on the Joe Rogan podcast where Elon talked about it, where eventually the government is going to pay you to not work.
Right, or and
not necessarily not
like
work.
An income. Just like a basic income,
almost like a tax check every, whether it be $1,000 a month, because of the fact that XYZ jobs were replaced by robots.
Wow.
Not saying that we still can't work, but it's just going to be money that they're going to give us back, like a rebate, because these jobs were taken. I can honestly say that I think in the future I could see something like that happening. I probably won't be alive for it. Who knows? I probably won't. Or maybe I'll be at the end of it.
Right.
But I can eventually see a future where it's robots have taken the majority of the jobs that we do, and at that point, what do you have? You just have a bunch of fucking people sitting around. You know what I mean? Or shopping. Or we still need to be shopping
I hope
and
they
producing.
can do what they want to do and not just be poverty. You know?
No. Like, whatever. Like you said, we could sit here and worry about the future all day.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like doom and gloom kind of think about.
Yeah,
but
it's just,
think about positive. Like, what if people are relieved of the 40-hour work week? Like I hate it.
Oh, I hope so.
And what if people are relieved of that because of automation and like that basic income gives them like $2,000 a month or like just what they do, and they have all this time freed up for their artistic expressions or their social expressions. You know, go before you lose it.
No, because
it'll be gone forever. You don't talk about it now.
No.
I've had that.
I saw the craziest concept, and it has to do with heating and cooling. So I figured you're the perfect person to ask.
Go.
And then it has to do with cryptocurrency. So there's
you're gonna make my brain explode now.
I'm gonna fucking blow your mind right now. Go. But this concept that somebody's thinking about right now, I don't know if it's already in production or if it's just one of those like crowdsourced things.
Yeah.
So obviously we need heat and we need cool. It's something you can honestly agree that no matter where you live, you need one or the other.
Right.
So why not put your heating or cooling unit to mine money for you, which is mining Bitcoin.
Right.
So if somebody came up with this idea, like I'm like, dude, just when I thought nothing else could ever fucking be invented, I always think like that. I always think like we've already invented everything.
Yeah.
This person. So I guess if you actually look what it takes to mine Bitcoin, it is fucking expensive.
Yeah, the rig.
The
server, the server unit,
and the electricity, the heat it produces, like it's ungodly.
Yeah.
So then somebody came with this idea. Well, one of the biggest things is electricity and heating. So what if I put those two together and made a heater for the winter? So imagine during the winter time when you turn your heater on and it's on for 6 months at a time.
It's the heat sinks from the server that heat your house.
And what your heater's doing at the same time while it's heating your house is mining Bitcoin for you, so you're getting paid. It's the fucking crazy. I'm like, so basically you're.
But those kind of things are going to be like in line. They're not going to be like yeah. It's going to be like an inline tap.
Like what? It's passive income. Like
right, exactly. It's going to be passive. It's not going to be like a main. You
never know. Like
you're right. You never know.
Like
it's going to be so trickly in the beginning, though. It's going to be like trickle, like kind of like solar is right now. Like everybody thinks solar can totally take over your house. They're wrong. It can, well, maybe some places it can.
It's just expensive.
Yeah,
it's not.
Really, yeah. But solar's not like fully.
It's not mainstream.
Yeah, it's like trickly. It's like not really. It's like a. It's hard to explain. I can't really explain.
It's no different. Like
that's crazy.
The concept is like
that's crazy.
Cars.
That makes sense to me because I looked into building like a rig, or like doing everything on a rig for mining Bitcoin.
Yeah,
like building it with like a nice glass and metal frame. Like you ever seen those?
Yeah,
and water cooled with fans and stuff. There's
I'd be seeing like power surges.
There's a crypto rig
door.
that could fit on this table.
Yeah,
and I thought about like making like the hardware part of it, and then like selling it, like making them build and sell kind of thing. Just doing all the hookups and stuff, and then leaving like that open space for whoever's hard drive or whatever to fit in there and do. That's all you, because I don't want to do like the hardware part of it, like the cooling, like you were just saying, like the cooling part of it,
cooling and heating,
and it's all like heat sinks and water cooling. A heat sink is like, it's crazy. They use electricity to. It's hard to explain what a heat sink is, but it's like on a control board. You'll see basically like a radiator, and that's pulling all the heat from this grid up and into the coil.
I think that's what they were talking about in the
don't even need a fan. Some don't even need a fan, but some have a fan, and that's how it's basically thermoelectric how it works. And thermoelectric wine coolers don't have any Freon or anything, and they have like what?
That's fine. You just get that?
No, it's been under a pile of scrap metal.
Oh, I like that.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
man cave stuff.
Yeah, I really like it.
Man cave stuff. I thought about putting it outside, but it's probably not good to have.
You see, like in Naples, warning: neighborhood watch.
Yeah. we look out for. I think it says look out for one another or something like that.
And he got here like about 2 months ago. Just never know.
Oh my goodness, the neighborhood too. That's another I feel like an old man when they start doing stuff.
I feel like an old man in a lot of things now. Like I don't know what it is.
Like why am I worried about? Like I'm
like
peeking through the blind. Yeah,
yeah.
like we're transitioning into old men. We're like peeking through the blinds. What's the guy doing? What's going on? You're bringing down my property value with your blue tarp roof. You know?
Yeah.
It could be that, but it's not. I'm just using that as an example because it's not that in our neighborhood.
We'll talk about that off podcast.
Yeah, but arbitrarily or just to talk about it as a blanket statement, it
just kind of
feels weird, because it's so close to home. What's going on with us, or what's going on around you? I feel like an old man though.
I'm not gonna lie. In the last couple, you know what?
I
think this is just transitioning. Like, who knows what's gonna happen next?
My kids are calling it an end. Do you want to call it an end? Or talk about something else?
No, this is an interesting podcast. I'm curious to see let's see what happens this week, man. I want to fill people in. I want to know if my predictions are right. Like
Please,
people, I'm terrified of this going into this week.
Subscribe or whatever you call that.
Put some comments. Like, what do you guys want to know?
Put some comments.
Give me something to research.
I put that on Facebook. I said, I didn't even say podcast. I said talk show topics. Go.
Yeah.
Guess what I got? Nothing.
Eventually, man.
Nothing.
Eventually.
I even put colors.
It'll go out to the outer
colors
circle.
on it.
The inner circle is always going to judge. The outer circle is where it's going to thrive. Is where people are going to see this and be like, oh, it's interesting. Or you could say they could be bored one night and let me hear what these guys, these two random ass guys, and
maybe we might need to go with that person that I don't,
That's what I'm saying. You got
to give people that, because I think people are interested in that cringe, like.
And you just got to market.
Say that?
Yeah, you just got to market the podcast with a catchy title like.
Oh shit! He said.
Oh
shit! He said it.
Market's turning.
Yeah.
Got Dr. Seuss over here getting ready to tell you, this is his prediction, or who knows, or just something crazy, or like Bitcoin's crashing.
Yeah.
Listen to this and see, our two random ass predictions.
Or gas is gonna go up because of this, and that.
Or just I'm playing Fortnite this week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't know, just anything crazy,
Any kind of topic. That's why I didn't want to put I
kind of
said a working class. That's why we always talk about work and finances and stuff, because I wanted to talk about financial. Anyway, we could keep going, man. I could just keep going. We could really do a 2-hour.
Let's clock out.
Let's clock out. All right, y'all. Hit us up with the comments and the You out? Anything else?
No. Let's do this.
Peace out.
Thank you for listening. Episode 10.
10 out.